Even at 80, I still make my wife blush every night, and it's all thanks to a glass of ginger water every morning. Walter, 81 years old, living in Texas, is not a gym legend. He doesn't take Viagra, doesn't do CrossFit, and certainly doesn't run 5 miles every morning. But if you meet him, you'll notice something very different. He walks with energy, speaks with a warm voice, has a radiant gaze, and most importantly, he lives, truly lives, at an age when many of his peers are merely surviving. I am Dr. Authority, an internal medicine physician based in Oregon with over 25 years of experience treating and advising elderly patients across the U.S. Over the years, I've seen countless men in their 60s, 70s, even 90s come to me in silence, sometimes with shame. Doctor, I just don't feel like a man anymore. No one teaches us how to face aging. In a country that worships youth, toned bodies, fast-paced lifestyles, and high-tech treatments, the elderly are gradually pushed out of the spotlight. But I've always believed this. Vitality doesn't come from age. It comes from within you and from how you care for yourself every single day. Walter is one of hundreds of patients who regain their vitality thanks to a simple formula I shared. A natural, inexpensive, easy-to-make blend, yet profoundly impactful on circulation, energy, and masculine strength. Warm ginger water with honey and fresh lemon? Sounds too simple? It does, but modern science has proven ginger can improve blood flow, reduce inflammation, boost natural testosterone levels, and support sleep. All essential for older men. When your blood circulates better, your heart performs more efficiently, your sexual organs receive more nutrients, and from there, everything changes. I don't tell Walter's story to sell a product. I tell it because I believe, and I've seen, that major changes can come from very small things. I've seen men who thought their lights had gone out suddenly come back to life. I've seen wives cry, not out of sadness, but because for the first time in years they felt truly loved again. From age 60 and beyond, you don't have to accept decline. You can choose to live differently, with small, consistent steps, starting today. And if you're thinking, I'm too old to change, let me tell you this. Old age doesn't take away your manhood. Giving up is what kills it. I'm here to help you rise, not with prescriptions, not with expensive procedures, but with knowledge, perseverance, and a simple formula, one that has helped hundreds of American patients from Florida to California rediscover the light in their eyes. A warm glass of ginger water every morning, just 8 ounces of warm water, 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 ounces of grated ginger, 2 tablespoons of raw honey, and a squeeze of fresh lemon juice could be the first step on a journey you never thought you'd begin at this age. And if you've read this far, I know one thing. You still have hope. And sometimes just having hope and the right doctor at the right time is enough to change your whole life. Do you know what has haunted me most throughout my years as a doctor? It's not when I encounter severe illnesses. It's when I see the quiet eyes of elderly men, eyes that once held pride, that once anchored their families, now avoiding the gaze of their wives, their children, and even their own reflection in the mirror. I remember clearly a patient named Harold, 73 years old, from Minnesota, a true American man who had worked as a railroad worker for 40 years. He sat in front of me, gripping his hands so tightly his knuckles turned white, and said, "Doctor, I don't know who I am anymore. I don't feel like a man." That sentence, though brief, carried an ocean of helplessness. Aging doesn't just bring wrinkles. It slows the heartbeat, stagnates blood flow, and lowers testosterone, the hormone responsible for vitality, strength, and male desire. When circulation weakens, blood no longer flows robustly to vital organs, including the reproductive system. The result: loss of interest, reduced erectile function, and ultimately growing distance in intimacy with their partner. What's worse is that modern American culture gives men no space to talk about this. They're taught to be strong, to endure, and so they silently swallow the sleepless nights, the moments of pretending to be tired, and the increasingly cold embraces. Their wives begin to feel disappointed. The relationship falls silent, disconnected physically, and then mental health starts to slip too. I've treated men who seemed to have given up, men who said, "At this age, I guess nothing can change." But I told them, just as I'm telling you, you're not weaker because you're older, you're weaker because you stop fighting. The decline in vitality after 60 is not inevitable. It's the result of living without knowing how to care for circulation, nutrition, and hormonal health. Your body isn't betraying you, it's crying for help. And believe me, it can still recover if you give it the chance. The more patients I see, the more I realize this isn't just a medical issue, it's a silent social pain. A generation of men is losing connection with themselves, not because they're weak, but because they lack a solution that is right, simple, and trustworthy. And that is why I began sharing the ginger formula as a starting point for renewal. I still remember the first time Walter, the 81-year-old gentleman from Texas I mentioned earlier, came back to my clinic after 3 weeks of following the formula I had shared. He walked in with a confident stride, his eyes noticeably brighter than the first time we met, and he said something I'll never forget. "I never thought one glass of ginger water could make such a difference. So what exactly is that glass? And why does it have such a powerful impact, both on circulation and on the sexual vitality of older men?" The formula is very simple, something anyone can prepare at home. No prescription, no modern machines, no costly expenses. Here's what I recommend. 2 ounces, about 60 grams, of freshly grated ginger, 2 tablespoons of raw honey, 1 tablespoon of fresh lemon juice, 8 ounces of warm water, around 100 degrees Fahrenheit. Every morning, 30 minutes before breakfast, stir this mixture into the warm water and drink it while it's still warm. Why ginger? Studies from Columbia University and the Mayo Clinic have both shown that ginger can dilate blood vessels and enhance blood flow to vital organs, including the male reproductive system. It also helps reduce inflammation, one of the main causes of blocked blood vessels and poor circulation. What about honey? Beyond being a natural sweetener, honey is rich in antioxidants, which help protect cells, boost physical stamina, and naturally promote testosterone production. That's why the ancient Greeks called honey the food of Zeus, and lemon juice, packed with vitamin C, acts as a catalyst. It helps the body absorb nutrients better, enhances anti-inflammatory effects, and supports fat metabolism, reducing visceral fat, which is a silent enemy of male vitality in older age. But above all, it's the combination of these 3 ingredients, ginger, honey, and lemon, that creates a synergistic effect. They simultaneously support the circulatory, hormonal, and nervous systems. Many patients have told me that after just 2 to 3 weeks of daily use, they sleep better, feel more alert in the morning, and the thing they're usually shy to mention, their intimacy, begins to return naturally, gently, without pressure. The best part is that this blend is completely natural, with no side effects, no dependency on medication. You don't have to worry about side effects like those from blood flow stimulants. And you're in full control. No doctor or prescription required. You're taking ownership of your own health. I share this not because I believe in miracles, but because I believe in the body's power to heal when given the right tools. And I believe that with a small change, like 1 glass of ginger water each morning, you can open the door to an entirely new way of living. When I first started sharing this ginger formula, I didn't expect it to do anything spectacular. I just hoped it could help my patients feel a little better each day, sleep better, eat better, and if possible, feel more alive. But what I didn't expect were the responses I received. They went far beyond what conventional medicine can measure. Walter, the 81-year-old patient from Texas, was the first I systematically introduced the formula to. 3 weeks after he began drinking the ginger mixture, he returned to my clinic and told me, "Doctor, you know what? I slept 6 straight hours without waking up once, for the first time in years." To others, that may sound ordinary, but to the elderly, especially those with circulation problems, a deep sleep is a priceless gift. Then came George, 68 years old, living in Ohio, who had gone through a mild depression after retirement. He emailed me writing, "Doctor, authority, I never thought 1 glass of ginger water each morning could make me feel alive again. I've started waking up early, going out to the garden, talking more with my wife. I don't feel useless anymore. Another case, James, 74, a widower living alone in Nevada. He handwrote a letter with a line that truly choked me up. I started drinking your mixture not to get healthier, but just to have something to look forward to each morning. And then, the miracle is, my body started responding. I feel energy. I feel a reason to keep living. And there are many more stories. Elderly American men who had lost faith in their bodies, now returning to a positive rhythm of life. No longer dependent on sleeping pills, no longer anxious about intimacy, and most importantly, they are reconnecting with themselves. That's something medicine sometimes overlooks. Belief. When someone believes they can change, their body begins to respond differently. The immune system gets stronger. The mind becomes more optimistic. And from there, every treatment, even the most natural ones, works beyond expectation. As a doctor, I will always believe in science. But like every human being, I also believe in the power of hope, especially when hope is nurtured by action. And a simple act like drinking a glass of ginger water every morning, full of nutrients and self-compassion, can be the starting point of an entire journey of renewal. I won't promise it will turn you into a 25-year-old again, but I will promise this. If you stay consistent, you will feel the difference. Not just in your body, but in your eyes, your smile, and your relationships with loved ones. Because in the end, what I want to give each of my patients isn't just health. It's confidence. It's strength. It's a reason to wake up each day and say, I'm still alive. And I'm still a man, in every sense of the word. If you've followed me this far, I believe there's still something inside you that hasn't gone out. A small light, a quiet hope, that age is not the end of strength, vitality, or happiness. And I want you to know one thing. You are absolutely right to believe that. I'm Dr. Authority, and I've worked with hundreds of older Americans, men who once thought their bodies were past their prime. That intimacy was just a distant memory. But those same men, once they started to change, once they dared to try, even something as simple as one glass of ginger water each morning, proved to me that the body's power to recover never disappears. It's only sleeping, waiting to be awakened. I'm not here to sell you a fantasy. I'm here to offer you a tool, simple, natural, effective, for you to take back control of your own life. There is no magic pill that can make you 30 years younger overnight, but there is a formula that can help you regain energy, vitality, confidence, and connection, not only with your body, but with your partner and with the real man inside you. Ginger water is not a miracle, but it's the first step, a small, meaningful step. It's a signal you send to your body that says, I still care about you. I still want to live, truly live. You don't have to wait until a doctor prescribes something or until it's too late. You don't have to do anything extraordinary. You just need to start. Start with a small act, like preparing 2 ounces of ginger, 2 tablespoons of honey, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, mixed with 8 ounces of warm water. Drink it every morning before breakfast, and listen to your body. After 1 week, you'll notice deeper sleep. After 2 weeks, a clearer mind. After 3 weeks, you'll begin to see yourself, the strong, vibrant, energized version, coming back. And if you've ever thought, I'm too old to change, let me remind you, you've lived through decades of ups and downs. You've survived illness, loss, pressure, wars, and entire eras. So why would you think you can't do this? Something good for yourself. You deserve to be healthy. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to feel strong, worthy, and confident at any age. I've witnessed too many incredible recoveries from those who dared to believe and dared to begin. And now I just ask you one thing. Why not you? Why not today? Try it. Start tomorrow morning. Give yourself a chance. Not for anyone else, but for you. Because if you don't love and take care of your own body, who will? And if you ever feel you need someone to walk with you, I, Dr. Authority, will always be here. Not just in the clinic, not in a prescription pad, but in every word I share, every real story, every small formula I send your way. Because I believe this, health, vitality, and joy in living are your right, at any age. Live in a way that honors the years you've been through. Live like a man, not just surviving but truly living. And start with 1 glass of ginger water. You can't turn back time, but you can change how you live the rest of your life. This isn't just a saying, it's a heartfelt reminder for all of us, especially those who have entered their 60s, 70s, or even 80s. Through the stories of Walter, Harold, George, and James, older American men who once felt like their time had passed, we've learned a profound lesson. Age does not define the value of your life, but your attitude toward yourself each day does. Loss of vitality, sleepless nights, and feeling weak in intimacy, these are not the end. They are simply your body's way of saying it's time to listen and care for yourself in the right way. And the beautiful truth is, change doesn't have to start with something big. It begins with small actions, like 1 glass of ginger water each morning. The message here is not about the ginger water, it's about the mindset of taking initiative. When you choose to rise, to try something new, to care for yourself consistently, you're sending a powerful signal to yourself. I'm still alive, and I choose to live better. We live in a society that worships youth, technology, and speed. But what modern society sometimes forgets is this. True quality of life comes from awareness, from inner connection, from caring for yourself with knowledge and love. Older adults don't need to try to be young. They just need to live fully in their own potential, deeply, powerfully, and with dignity. You don't need to change the world. You only need to change how you see yourself, how you begin each day, how you give your body a chance to heal. So the most important lesson from this story is be proactive, be consistent, and above all, believe that you deserve a life of health, happiness, and vitality, no matter your age. Your body is your most loyal companion. If you care for it with patience and kindness, it will reward you with miracles. No matter how many springs you've lived through, and if tomorrow morning you can still make yourself a glass of ginger water, then that means you still have the power to choose a different life, a better life, a life to be proud of.